Hello and welcome to another episode of the Adrienne Ross Show, where sports and culture connect. Welcome back to my living room. I should have known not to start this video with a vitamin C drop on my mouth, but we're going to persevere. Yes, the Adrienne Ross Show living room, because I've been up here. We've been doing live streams for hours because it's that time, Sweet 16. So for hours, we're doing live stream. And then I said, guys, I got to get something to eat. So I didn't go live for the UCLA game against Ole Miss. It's still on. But I did see where Lisa Leslie did an interview with USA Today. And I wanted to jump on really quickly and share that in case you missed it, and also share my perspective, because it's so noteworthy how Lisa Leslie responds to the news that the Indiana Fever will be on national television 41 out of 44 games, and other teams are not, and how ESPN set up really Nafisa Collier with the question, is it unfair? You know, the whole agenda, you know how it goes. And, you know, there are fans out there who are whining and complaining about it, no doubt. And it's so interesting. So, and refreshing to hear what Lisa Leslie, one of the legends of the game, someone who has won championships and just has I've shared them before, just many accolades. Don't agree with her on everything. During Unrivaled, I thought she got a little too mama-ish concerning Angel Reese, but of course she was coaching her, helping to coach her on the side. But when she makes sense, she makes sense. And she makes sense a lot, honestly. Let's take a listen to this mature reaction to the news about Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever being on national television so much in this 2025 upcoming season.
Stephen A. Smith had a very interesting discourse with Fee recently over the number of games the Fever broadcasted this season compared to other teams who have also got stars on them. So I'm curious what you make of W's decision to lean into highlighting its stars, even if, you know, they aren't the best.
I think it's all about money, marketing, and we cannot deny what Caitlin Clark has done for the women's game. I'm not going to act like it's something that we don't see. She's had a huge effect called the Caitlin Clark effect. Yes, have we ever had teams have to get into larger arenas to play against a team? No, we have not. So if we have more eyeballs on the game and Caitlin Clark brings that, why would we feel some kind of way because she has more television games? I think we have to understand that when one player eats, we all eat. And as we all get more opportunities, it just opens it up for everyone else. And I think Caitlin has said that even herself in certain interviews. And I love that. I love that she's not the player who's like, it's all about her. I just don't, again, I don't know what the big deal is about the fact that Caitlin is getting a lot of love. She deserves that, and she's helped change this game just as a lot of other players have. But it is what it is. And I think that we are all benefiting from the effects that she's had on the game. And I just appreciate the way she shows up. Listen, she's a competitor. She's a trash talker. She makes players around her better. She's exciting to watch. And quite frankly, I've missed seeing her. Being at Unrivaled, she was there. Like, I've missed seeing her play. So I really look forward to seeing her back out there. But as I do all of the WNBA players, like, we are really watching a very exciting level of basketball. I miss seeing Asia Wilson out there. Like, she's, to me, still one of the best players in the world. So it's been great seeing Nafisa Collier out there. I think she's in the talk of being one of the best players in the world. Like, so I feel like the competition is there. You got to go out there and prove yourselves. And listen, are we going to get upset about 5, 6, 10 games less on television or not? I don't think we should. We have access to find these games now in a way that we never had before. And we have to appreciate that, and all these platforms that support the W. So, hey, listen, Caitlin, I am so thankful for her. I'm thankful for all of these women and where this game is. And we have to step back and see the big picture and how it's impacting all of us.
Before I say any more, gotta say, she asked the question. keeping it real, she asked the question, were we moving to larger arenas before? She gave the answer, no, we were not. Kind of reminds me of my merch. The CC effect, aka scheduling conflict, and on the back, coming to a larger arena near you. If you haven't shopped the store yet, the Adrienne Ross Show store, the link is in the description of this video, as it is in most of the videos. Back to Lisa Leslie. She kept it real. Listening to her makes me think of something that I really want to point out. I have on many occasions heard pro Caitlin Clark YouTubers, podcasters saying that, oh, the WNBA, it's always been petty, and the WNBA players have never been likable, and WNBA, and I've heard a lot of that stuff, and many of these people weren't watching the WNBA before. And I was watching way back left and came back when Caitlin Clark entered the league. But I'm saying that there are some of these players, some of these podcasters, I should say, who weren't watching the WNBA. So I don't know why they want to say that, because I've said on many occasions that it was a different league. Early in the league, you didn't see and hear some of the things that shocked me in this in 2024 when I started watching when Caitlin came into the league. And so people use terms like OG and this, that, and the other thing. Well, if you're using OG, whatever that's supposed to mean, I know what it stands for, but if you're using that to refer to players from back in the day, you find another term, because the players back in the day were not like some of the players we're seeing now. And I say some like that on purpose, because we know that the WNBA is not, everybody does not think the same. Not everybody was trying to knock Caitlin across her face or knock her to the ground. Not everyone was doing that enough to make the league look horrible, but not everyone was doing that. But there is a certain mindset that seems to be in the DNA of the WNBA, but it was not always like that. And so that's why when we come into contact with people like Cynthia Cooper, her comments are different than the current players who have been around for a while, who seem to have been threatened by Caitlin Clark or feel like she owes them something or she's not doing enough. The ones you can't please, both the players as well as the fan base. Of course, there wasn't social media back in the early days, but it was just a different spirit. So when you run into a Cynthia Cooper comment, or you run into those who are, when you run into Nancy Lieberman, I want to say Nancy Lieberman Klein, because that's how I remember her, Nancy Lieberman. When you run into players like that, like those players or former players, or when you run into great legends of basketball like your Cheryl Millers, you notice you're not hearing them say some of the things that other people who are sort of, I guess you might want to call them the old school players or the current day players who have a different mindset or whatever, old guard, you hear things like that. It wasn't like that. So I think with Cheryl Swoops, it sort of made people think that was everybody. It just wasn't like that. So for Lisa Leslie to be mature enough to see the value in having Caitlin Clark in the league, and to understand that when you start talking about television, you are talking about interest and business and finances and all that. And so because she represents a time to me that was vastly different from what the WNBA ended up becoming, she can look at it and go, well, I don't know what the big deal is. Everybody eats, everybody benefits, and she brings something that no one else brought, and she's growing the game. And isn't that what we want? It seems like the original people are the ones who really want the league to grow and to succeed. If anyone should have a beef with the attention that Caitlin Clark and those in college coming up, and they're going to have the NIL deals, or they have the NIL deals and all this stuff. If anybody should be like, oh my goodness, it should be the great players from original, right? The original ones who didn't get that, who didn't, many of them played overseas. Your Cynthia Cooper played overseas, then came back and got an opportunity to play here in America and was so excited. It was always gratitude from her, always competitiveness and gratitude. And it was just different. So people since that time should really listen to what Lisa Leslie is saying. She's just like, I'm thankful for Caitlin Clark. I'm thankful for what she's doing for our game. I'm thankful that she doesn't make it about her. I'm thankful she goes out there, she competes. Yeah, she's going to jabber a little bit like everybody else, but she's helping the game to grow, and she's raising the level, and she's doing stuff. And so just get out there, do your thing, and watch the doors open. That's what I remember. That kind of mindset is what I remember of the WNBA. Not what people who hadn't watched the league those people assume that it's just been everything that we want to change about the WNBA, everything that's not healthy for the WNBA. A lot of people say, well, it's always been that way, and everything, all that has to go. Well, some of the current stuff has to go, and some of the things for the few years have to go. But if we go way back to the way it used to be, you hear those early on people saying the things that we understand. And that is, what did Cheryl Miller say? Big dummies, come on. So I enjoy listening to Lisa Leslie say, hey, I respect the older players as well. I miss them as well. But listen, everybody's going to eat. Everybody's going to benefit. Let's get behind it. Let's grow the league. It's like they're pushing for even more the growth than some of the players who are pushing back, or the media who want to push a narrative. Why would you not want the opportunity for the league to grow, for more eyeballs to be on it, as Lisa Leslie said? Why would you not? I'll repeat it again. I've said it so many times. A rising tide lifts all boats. Or as Lisa Leslie said, everybody eats. So Lisa Leslie, it's not the first time she's stood up against the voices of the day and just spoke the truth concerning the league, concerning Caitlin, concerning the game. So when you're right, you're right. Lisa Leslie is right. And I hope everybody gets on board. Stop trying to make something a whole big deal. Like she said, just embrace it. Come on, somebody. Anyway, I am exhausted because it's been hours of basketball, right? So I'm going to say adios for now. And tomorrow is another big day, God willing. Got some good games. Y'all need to be watching live with the Adrienne Ross Show. We have an absolute blast. You want to be a part of it. I want you to be a part of it. I'll catch you next time, God willing. Subscribe to the channel. God bless you abundantly.